Okay, so no introductions or introductions today, but if you want to still support the channel, like, share, comment, hit the bell notification. If you really care about my stuff, you'll follow me on my Reddit. If you truly give a shit about my stuff, subscribe. My absolute fellow awesome people and watchers out there. Anyways, I know usually, like I said before, I'll say it again, this year, 2025, I really wasn't going to talk about nothing video games industry news related, but I'm not going to say I completely lied, unless it's something that has a lot of favoritism to me, from a lot of nostalgia from the 90s and early to late 2000s, and maybe a little bit early 2010s, but not too much, maybe till like 2013 or 14 at least, because by that point, I was already out of like college, university in 2013. I was like completely done with education. I just started working a hotel casino job after, because unfortunately, I didn't get that dream job of being going all over the country truck driver like I always wanted that, or being a video game developer, gaming dev, or the devs, as Gen Zers like to call it, I guess. So there's that. I'm playing a little bit of old school Dead or Alive 2 music in the background. You can't hear it yet, but you will right about now. Some old school shit there. If any of you guys remember that, you are an OG. You're an old school boomer millennial like my fucking ass. You know goddamn fucking well how good of a freaking game the Dead or Alive series was. Very underrated. Granted, even though a lot of people think it was just girls in bikinis and girls that were like really super hot as hell, super fine, hot ass, pretty anime chicks back in the late 90s, early late 2000s. I'm not gonna lie, I totally fapped off to a lot of that R34 prom back then, even when I was like 12 to 15 years old. Jesus, man. And it's funny because a lot of these people, especially a lot of these girls, completely side topic before I get into this. Because this is supposed to be something that's supposed to be like Dino Crisis. I already watched the video myself, so unfortunately not going to get a reaction to it. Um, I'm not going to say I was disappointed about it. I was kind of skeptical on it because I don't know if they're going to try to do microtransactions or try to make this into like fucking Fortnite or Apex Legends or PUBG or some stupid gotcha game like the Gold Genshin Impact Star Rail, all that other shit. So I really hope to God they don't make it like that. They might, which is a bitch. That's why I'm kind of skeptical about it. So I was like very, very like kind of on the fence if I should like this game, Code Violet, because I don't know if it's supposed to be a predecessor to what Dino Crisis was. Because I didn't get to play that much Dino Crisis when I was a 90s, early 2000s kid. I wish that I did, but yeah, completely side topic real quick. I don't know what it is, but dude, like I was saying, bro, it's just hold on one second. Okay, so now I had to get my quick thoughts real fast on Dead or Alive. That's what I was talking about. Right. Getting back to that real quick. That wasn't just a game with a whole bunch of girls with a whole bunch of waifu stuff and all that. Oh, I don't know why these teachers and a lot of, especially with a lot of Gen Zers, I don't know what it is. As an older boomer millennial, I'm not gonna lie, cause like you think, I'm not sure if a lot of girls think that a lot of boys that are like in their, what's it called, champ years from ages like 6 to 10 or maybe 7 to like 12, 13 years old before they hit their teens, even before they hit puberty. Because when I was a 6, 7 year old little kid, I kind of already figured out what sex already was. I don't know if they just think they're all little innocent angels, because I wasn't an innocent angel. I used to be a lot of nasty perverted ass shit when I was a 6 to 12-year-old kid. I'm not going to tell you what they were, but you can probably imagine for yourself. I see a lot of these other channels like, oh, they're too young to know about sex, and they're too young to know about prawn and pornography and corn and all that shit. You know, I didn't give a fuck about that. I liked it. I looked at it a few times when I was 5, 6 years old. You know, it wasn't supposed to, but it was from the old school shit. Like, look at like the Playboy magazines or FHM or what was the other one besides FHM? There was another one out there. Like, there was a one for black people, Jet magazine. That one was pretty nice. And then like another one, I forgot what it was. Like, um, I think it was HEM or something like that. I don't know. And the Lowrider magazine ones. I used to watch that shit when I was 10, 11 years old. And I shouldn't have. But of course, this is like when my dad and my mom wasn't around to catch me looking at those dirty ass magazines. And then of course, I don't know if it did warp my brain so when I hit 13 and up, because, you know, 13 to 18, even 19, that's around the time when you hit puberty and all that shit. And like if you're a guy, you start liking girls a lot more, and if you're a girl, you start liking guys more. Unless you end up being LGBTQIA community, you like the same gender as your race, as the same, sexual orientation as you, and then you like that. Thank God that never happened to me. Anyways, yeah, I don't know what they think. Everyone, little child's an angel. Not all children are little angels. Some of them they could be little shits and little brats. Luckily, I wasn't a brat. I'm not gonna say I was completely disobedient, but I'm not gonna say I was a perfect little angel child either. There was a few times I did go against my parents, and I had to get my whippings and spankings with the belt and a real hard ass fucking the plancha, the chancleta, and the other one the fucking. And if any people, especially Hispanic Latino households, you knew what the freaking chancleta was, and the real bad one, or the belt, or the worst thing, like freaking cord thing that used to slap you with it real hard. And now for a lot of white people families, they probably don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but even if you're in a black household, you probably know what I'm talking about. The extension cord to the freaking oven thing. Oh man, that shit hurt like a bitch. If I ended up talking back to my mom like that, or my pops, it would have hurt like hell, man. Of course, I only had it maybe like 10, 15, 20 times that ever happened to me. Because once I had 15, 16, when I was a little bit too old to get spanked, luckily for me, they couldn't even beat my ass no more if I was disrespectful. So I learned very, very quickly not to do that. Anyways, get into this real quick. Code Violet, everything you need to know. Playing some music again from Dead or Alive. PS5 exclusives from Sabby from newfeed.com. So I gotta give credit to the person, Sabby, newfeed. Says Team Kills Media's latest mixed dinosaur dystopian next-gen visuals, gripping single-player experience built exclusively for the PS5. I'm only going to read a little bit of this, and I'm going to read too much of it. I know there's a lot of it, but I'll just read like 4, maybe 8 paragraphs of it. So this Code Violet is set for far future ahead of the world where society has fallen. I got a bunch of articles, things to talk about real quick too. So I may or may not do thoughts, views, opinions, speculations, but let's move on. Middle of this chaos, long extinct animals like dinosaurs will come back to life. Their roots are in dangerous scientific experiments and unraveling of time itself. Players will take on the role of Violet Sinclair, lone survivor of reluctant heroes who find their way through the ruins of civilization to figure out what happens because of humanity to fall and return to Earth's primal rules. Game promises a deep cinematic story, heavily influenced by science fiction and classic horror movies. The theme itself will explore ecological collapse, moral ambiguity, okay, fancy words there, scientific progress, and being alone in the face of overwhelming odds. Violet isn't a tough warrior, she's just a normal woman who put in a ridiculous situation, and her weakness is likely to be a big part of what makes her game so exciting. In the terms of gameplay, Code Violet is a mix of third-person action, survival horror, puzzle solving. There's puzzle solving in this? Oh, that just turned me off on that thing. I don't remember seeing no puzzle solving in the trailer though, but whatever, it is what it is. I remember there's a lot of action and running and pow pow pow, third person like firearm shootings. That was cool. But I don't remember no puzzle solving in the trailer when I saw it, but whatever, let's move on. Ammo is limited, enemies are dangerous, and the environment is hostile. Even though Violet will have a small collection of futuristic, real-world weapons, using force will not always be the best option. To stay alive in many situations, players will have to use stealth machines, environmental distractions, or just run away. Let's move a little bit further. So the developers have hinted too far, hinted a deep AI system deep AI system who would need actively hunts, listen for noise, and change the base on how the players plays. Because of this, every other meeting feels tense and uncertain. Exploration is also going to be very important. The game takes place in a lot of different settings, from overgrown labs and dense jungles, crumbling cities, and flooding underground complexes. Yeah, I seen all that in the trailer. That shit really fucking cool. But I was still skeptical about it, but let's move on. You can find collectibles, lore entries, and optional puzzles that add to the world building in the areas. Developers are putting a lot of effort into making sure that every abandoned building tells a sad story about the world's past. Also goes on to say, I'm stopping right here. You guys can read the rest of the room. Yada yada. In contrast to the predecessor's Code Violet only being made for the PS5, and there isn't just for show, Team Kill Media confirms that the game makes most of the all the PS5's hardware. This includes ray tracing, real-time lighting for shadows, fast loading thanks to SSD, and full integration of 3D spatial audio makes the horror atmosphere feel more real. The DualSense controller will also be used to make things more tense. You can expect complex haptic feedback. Okay, so a lot of vibration on the shit. Good stuff. Badass. I see that interdimensional level of immersiveness there. During these tense situations, like rumbling of the dinosaur's footsteps and the distance for sickening snap of trap closings, as well as adaptive triggers resistance when firing weapons, opening doors that won't open, or pulling heavy things. And all stuff with the dynamics and all that. That sounds cool. Yeah, fast thoughts usually put in speculations and takes on it. I don't know this chick. I hope to God they don't make this chick the girl boss. Like, make it into a political SJW, typical horse crap, snowflakey, girl boss, I don't need a guy sort of character. I hope they don't make her like the Carol Danvers chick from fucking Marvel. Captain Marvel. I hope not. I hope she's just an epic badass chick that she's just a real super cutesy wootsy little anime chick that only cares about, not just herself, but like cares about the people that maybe she's trying to protect. And they actually make her, very super ladylike and very helpless. And, maybe she might need a man to save her. Who knows? In this day and age of 2025, that's unfortunate. Huge, massive no-no, but that'd be pretty badass. Excuse me. Especially if it's like done by an indie company, not a big giant super AAA studio company. It's just done by a few people. That's cool. Anyways, yeah, that's all I gotta say on it. The music sounded sick. And that's the reason I didn't want to do a reaction. I decided to watch my own because there was a lot of copyrighted music in there. So I probably would have got a strike or a copyright claim. So there was some stuff about like Star Wars is going to be coming May 2nd, whatever, for Fortnite. I feel like talking about it. There was this news here though from The Verge real quick. Microsoft announces Gears of War Remastered, but it's going to be for the PlayStation 5. I never thought in a billion years, because Gears of War since 2000, 2001, or early 2002, I forgot when it came out, that was always strictly for the Xbox 360, Xbox One, and then of course the newer generation that currently is Xbox Series X and X until next year or the year after when the new Xbox Microsoft shit comes out. That's probably going to be the final one they do. I never thought in a billion years it would happen, but it is for the PlayStation 5. It's coming out August 26th. So I'll leave the link there. More news about this fool again, not surprised. The absolute crazy, disgusting grape trafficker guy, Mr. P. Diddler, aka Sean Carter, says, did he EX trafficking trial? Anything you need to know? Federal prosecutor says the hip hop model's concerned woman did a blank fueled performance called the Freak Off Fools. It used to be business, empire to conceal crime. It's funny how this dude had so much clout, bro. Had a fuck ton of clout. Had all the bad stuff I can't say on YouTube. He had so much power and authority over motherfuckers, and then within less than a day, even though granted I heard about this way back in 2009, 2001, a lot of those old school Illuminati Masonic theory videos were out. Shout out to this other dude. His name is The Truth Is. I'll leave the link to his channel below if YouTube allows me to, because he did a lot of expose shit on a lot of important ass things. He does it like kind of paywalls it a little bit, which I'm not a fan of, but I can see why he does it. His Patreon and coffee accounts or Subscribestar, which sucks. I see why he does that, but the man, he knows what's up. He's like how my boy RFB was and Jacob's Ladder and the other fool KJ, like scariest movie ever. Like the dude's on top of his game. The truth is, so the dude he does a lot of expose and like why a lot of these celebrity music artists and even a lot of actors. It sucks because some of those actors I like still too, but sold out their soul to Satan and the devil and all that shit. It's sad. Especially the way this dude was. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but there was a video like a couple days or a week or two ago, and this fool used to annoy the living crap out of me, Mr. Justin Bieber himself. Oh, he annoyed the shit out of me. That could be a whole other video of that, but my God, He's going crazy with drugs. So sad. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.